All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Team here, and this is BxJS livestream. And this here is my cat. She's in the cone of pain and suffering, and she's probably going to be blocking a lot of the stream today. But anyway, coming to the stream itself. This is channel update slash questions and answers stream. So a lot of you guys were asking, what am I doing these days? And how's the stuff going? So I thought I would just do this sort of short-ish update and then just answer whatever questions you guys have, and we can just sit and chat here. That's kind of the gist of it. So I guess let's start with the update itself. If you've tracked my life in 2020, I guess I did quite a few updates on this channel talking about my work, and essentially the thing is that I started working for the startup in the beginning of the year. Startup's called Hyperflow, and let me try that again. We were building a pretty nice sort of all-in-one studio for managing video content or media content in the long run. Pretty ambitious. We raised some money in the beginning. So here's this story. The money ran out sometime by July, and starting from July, I was technically unemployed. I did get some money from company now and then, but it was like barely enough to cover the to cover my bills, essentially, right? So we decided to, or I guess decided is, well, okay, I convinced my co-founder to try and apply for the German business grant called Exists. It's actually a really nice program. So essentially you fill out the form that is like 30, 40 pages long with some data and description of your business model and everything. And if you are lucky, they give a year of salaries for up to 3 people, which is, in my opinion, it's an amazing offer. So we started working on that, and then we basically, during that work, me and my co-founder disagreed on how the development of the project should proceed while writing the proposal. So we just parted our ways, and starting sometime mid-October, I am basically unemployed, like properly, officially, without any even unstable income, let's put it this way. So, yeah, that's how my life's been going. I'm still writing the proposal. We just had to change it with my good friend Axel to gear towards the machine learning stuff and knowledge extraction and knowledge graphs. So basically what I was doing in the university. And we are hoping to land the funding anyway and just do our own thing, essentially, which is going to be kind of 180 degrees from what Hyperflow was doing. So if Hyperflow was working on the multimedia content, then we're going to be working on text, which, yeah, is, quite drastic change, but that's what we're doing. That's what we know how to do. And hopefully something will work out here, because it doesn't seem like I'm going to be getting any work anytime soon. And yeah, so this is my my life. I'm basically now unemployed. For people asking on Twitter why I'm playing so much games, this is your answer. I'm unemployed, just sitting here playing video games. I guess, yeah, there's another point around that I wanted to address, is that while working on the whole thing without actually getting like properly paid, let's call it the right way, right? So it's like, yes, I did get some money, but it wasn't enough to cover all the bills. So I had to like scramble for some freelances and try to find some other ways to earn money to cover the bills. I did not notice how I was getting burned out like a lot. So I think if we wouldn't terminate this relationship like a couple of weeks ago, a few more months in, and I might have ended up with like a depression or something, because that was like, I didn't even notice how tough it was until we basically had this conversation and said, okay, we're stopping this work. And I felt this, incredible relief of like, okay, I'm actually can go and find some money to that are stable, basically. That was just bonkers how you never notice this stuff, when you're just like kind of keep chugging along, I guess, But yeah, this is the gist of it. So I'm feeling a lot better. I have a lot more free time. Again, still working on that proposal, so not completely free yet, but having a lot of free time now means essentially that, and feeling a lot better than before, means that we are going to have at least the what is wrong with me? At least the regular schedule we had before, so Wednesdays and Saturdays for streams, plus gaming streams whenever. And most likely, once we're done with the proposal, which should happen in the next couple of weeks, I'm thinking about, like, since, until we get the decision, we're going to have to wait, I don't know, 8 weeks or something after we submit it. Which means that we have quite a lot of time, right? So my thought was maybe we'll pick up the large-ish project and try to go from the sort of the ideation phase where we come up with the idea, where we sort of flesh out the specs, to building and shipping the actual thing with the live demo and everything in a code on GitHub. Maybe not under BxJS repo, but at least somewhere on maybe on my profile or whatever, depending on the project we do. So this is kind of the short-term plan, and then long-term, I still have no idea what's going on. 2020 has been a absolute mess. I have no idea where my life's going, and this is basically the updates. There was a short 5 minutes, I guess, of updates, but there you go. This is what's going on, basically. Let me have a look at the chat. Hey, Dragon, welcome to the stream. Hey, Mr. Isabel, welcome to the stream. Hey, Marina, welcome to the stream. Hey, CM, guten Abend. So, guys, if you got any questions, anything you want to ask, chat about, whatever, now's the time to throw them into the chat. I was thinking that, while I wait for your questions or wait for stuff to happen, basically, I would go ahead and update some of the old BxJS repositories because a lot of them needs work, essentially. You're a great developer, why not work as a freelancer? I tried, I honestly tried, so my old connections that I had zero work this year. So I'm a registered freelancer in Germany, basically. It's like the self-employed status and everything. And last year I did quite a few side jobs essentially, and it earned me a few additional thousand per year, which is super nice. This year nobody has any freaking work. It's the problem was that I couldn't commit to a large project because I still was working full-ish time on the startup, which means that I have 5-10 hours per week to do something else. And the clients who had work for me as a freelance, they had it for hey, we need you 40 hours a week, which I just couldn't do. So there's the whole situation was a mess. Let's just be honest here, okay? So I would definitely work as a freelancer. Now that might be more viable. I'm not sure if I want to do it now, but yeah. Why don't working for a bigger company? You get a lot more free time. So I've been that's that's a thing. That's the thing that crossed my mind more than once as to, why do I keep doing startups? Why don't I just drop everything and go work for, I don't know, Microsoft or whatever? Because, don't get me wrong, the Microsoft does some really cool stuff lately, and there's nothing wrong working for Microsoft or Apple or whatever, right? But every time I start thinking about okay, so I'm just going to go there, I'm going to build some stuff, and it's yeah. And it's because I worked more than once in the enterprise, and it every time ends up being the same. When you start working on a product, it's extremely exciting, right? So when you start building something new or join the team that is in early stages of development, figuring out business requirements, figuring out architecture, all that is super exciting. But once you get to the shipping phase and once you ship it and the stuff that follows, it's typically not the best stuff in the world. At least it tends to be in the enterprise world, because when you're a startup, you transition into this phase. Okay, so now we shipped it. How do we figure it out? If our customers like it, how do we add features, remove features, pivot to something else? There's still a lot of work. The enterprises, once they ship the software, majority of time it's either it's successful and then you just sort of fix the bugs there, and yes, you have a lot of free time in this way, or nobody uses it and it's just you just sit in the corner very sad and do nothing essentially, right? Because nobody uses it, you don't know if there's any bugs, and you essentially just have to wait for sales team to basically tell you what do they want from it. And maybe in 10 years I'll get old and I would think that this is the way I want to go for. But not right now. I have opportunity to basically try and build something awesome. So why not go for that for now? This is basically my reasoning. I might get tired of all of that in I don't know, whenever, and just decide to again go work for Microsoft or something. But for now it works. This venture was way more stressful than any other ventures I've ever had. I think there was like, again, I didn't notice it until it was like too late, basically. But oh boy, yeah, I don't know. Like this is. I hope that answers the questions. Did I miss the channel update? Yes, you missed the channel update. It wasn't very, very long, but essentially the channel is going to be moving back into proper schedule, and we are. I'm probably going to start a new largish project that I will live stream. I'm thinking about trying to live stream like daily. I'm not sure if that will work out or if the long streams is actually you people want to see. So we're going to have to figure that out later on once I have basically more free time on my hands. But yeah. Hey Slavko, welcome to the stream. What's up? Good to have some breaks recharging your batteries. Yes, so this is my plan, basically finish the proposal and then just spend a couple of months. I guess that will be like from middle of November to January. I'm just gonna be like playing video games and streaming some fun side projects, basically. Luckily I have some savings which should get me through that time, and then starting January I got some smaller contracts lined up that should get me through the response to our proposal, which hopefully will be positive, but we're gonna see how that works. At the moment, it's really hard to find good freelancers in Germany. Money is not everything, work must also be fun. So yes, I mean, finding good freelancers is always, I think, hard. And again, for me, it comes down to the whole balance of between like the hours I can spend and the hours people want me to spend on the freelance. I used to do quite a bit of consulting last year, again, because it was like, it was a good year. 2019 was a good year. This year, zero consulting, zero freelancing. I think I had like at most couple of invoices that I've sent out this year, and that's it. It was, this year is just insane. And yes, money is absolutely not everything. Again, you salivating on me, cat. What is going on? She's a bit sick, so she's been behaving a bit weirdly lately. Okay. Hey Artyom, welcome to the stream. What an update. I mean, indeed, yeah, this is not the... this is not exactly the thing you expect to hear on the YouTube, right? Didn't check the channel for a long time. What about the outsourced companies? I don't really... I tried, in my very early days when I just started working as a professional software developer, essentially doing this for money, I did a lot of, basically what you could call outsource or sort of the project-based work, I guess, and I didn't really enjoy it because majority of time it's like, you don't really... So my gripe with this kind of work is that you get someone from the client side who thinks he knows what he wants, but doesn't understand how the tech works in like 99% of cases, but still thinks like, okay, it has to be this. And in my 5 years of freelancing, I got so freaking tired of talking to those people that I decided it would be easier to just build something on my own and try to raise money for that. Maybe I just I know that I'm a absolutely terrible business person, let's put it this way, right? So I'm terrible at selling, I'm terrible at marketing. I know the basics, I know how it works, but I'm just really, really bad at it. Maybe I was just really bad at doing the customer service. Maybe I'm just really bad at finding and talking to customers. I know that there are basically if you have a good manager and good salesperson, they will alleviate this pain, but doing this myself is not something I want or enjoy, basically, So it's kind of the gist of it. But anyway, yeah. So any more questions or things you want to chat about? Again, as I said, I am gonna update some stuff here in the BxJS website while you guys are thinking about questions or things you want to chat about. Because this site is extremely outdated and there's like a ton of missing things, a ton of broken code, and it would be nice to actually make it work. Cat, can you please just go somewhere here? Thank you very much. And she just, come on, cat. Okay, so we got this Gatsby thing going, and if I remember correctly, we had I haven't updated it in ages, and I think we're still using Yarn. Are you going to do any more web components? Maybe. So like it depends on what and how are we gonna do it. Like the thing is that what I figured out after doing the 2 web components videos essentially is that number one, web components as the platform is actually really cool. So like the tech that is natively there in the browser, so the HTML templates, the custom elements, the shadow DOM, all that stuff is at this stage pretty fleshed out, right? The problem is the libraries and frameworks that are built around it. They are still in, it looks like at least, they're in a very early stages. Like Stencil was nice-ish, but again, it's not strictly web components and really looks like Vue or Angular framework basically at this stage, right? And you can even disable Shadow DOM, for example, if you don't want it. So, this is kind of the gist of it, and if there would be an interesting topic with relating to the web components, I would absolutely do another stream. As much as I didn't like working with Polymer, I still think that web components have a bright future, and in a few years we'll probably see a really good framework that will adopt them. Maybe even React or Angular or Vue or whatever will just use web components as the rendering destination, essentially, right? Hey, Big Game Spot, welcome to the stream. Okay, let me see. What is the most fun framework you have worked with? Fun, okay, here's the question. Fun framework for what? Right, because there's a wide range of things you can do with a framework. If we're talking about the front ends, then it's got to be React. I don't think there's anything, at least for me personally, there's nothing more fun to work with than React and React functional components with the hooks. If it's backend, then Fastify is amazing, and then the GraphQL Compose, that's also super cool. So like this is the thing that basically made me love writing GraphQL, right? So because before that, when I tried to do like GraphQL for Mongo, GraphQL for Postgres, all of those endeavors were really, really painful. And GraphQL Compose made it amazingly simple. So that was like another thing. Like Fastify, again, I'm keep pitching it everywhere because it's an amazing little framework and I love it to death. So this is like the third one. What else is there? There is, this is, the 3 that immediately come to mind. Aside from that, let me think. What else did I use? I honestly don't remember. Like BxJS, it's not really a framework, right? It's more of a library, so it's also quite cool. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else than that. So it's like, I guess those 3 count, basically. Learning Laravel, is it good? Yeah, Laravel is pretty good. Like, it's one of the best frameworks for PHP as far as I know. I'm quite far away from the PHP world, but, I think Laravel is one of the most popular ones out there right now, so it's probably a good candidate for learning. Did you try Nest.js with Fastify? I've seen Nest. I did not try it yet. It seems overly object-oriented for me. So if you watched any of my streams, you probably know that I am not a huge fan of object-oriented style and classes and stuff like this. I see where, there might be cases where you want to apply things like controllers, classes, but I am not a fan of this sort of way of writing routes, essentially. I know that there are some people that really like it this way, so sort of, the MVC and all that kind of stuff. I personally find it that basically this structure to the backend only complicates it, not the other way around. So I honestly don't want to try it basically at this stage. I want to start a React project. Backend is there for the front end. Which React components do you propose to use? I would say that depends on what you are, like, as it's basically the answer to everything, right? What are you going to build? If it's like, if you don't know yet what's the front end is going to be, then just start with something super simple, just as the React. Okay, we need pages, add React routing or React router, and then from there on, figure out what do you want. State, this comes down again to what is your backend. Is it GraphQL? Because again, I think I already did a video on that, and doing the local state in GraphQL in React with Apollo local state is incredibly easy and super powerful. So this is like something I definitely do now all the time, pretty much whenever I have a GraphQL backend. If it's not GraphQL backend, then I mean, there's the I forgot the name of it. Oh, React State. What's the name of it? What's the official library from Facebook? The new one. Oh my god, my brain. I mean, okay, so yes, just first of all, start with the hooks, because sometimes local state or context is more than enough. Maybe you don't have a complex enough state to justify bringing in the third-party library. Recoil, yes, thank you. This is exactly what I forgot. If your state gets a bit more complex, then Recoil is amazing. Like, this library is so damn good. Seriously, like, I tried it in a couple of small-ish projects that were basically not complex enough to justify bringing something like, Redux or whatever, but still needed something more than just hooks and context, right? Because there was like a lot of re-renders, and you need to like pipe it down and manage the performance. This thing is mind-blowingly good. Like the atoms and selectors, they work so damn well, and the main point is that they are so easy to understand. Like the concepts are super straightforward, and the hooks they provide is also like, instead of like in some cases you might want to just do the setter or just get the value, and then there are hooks that basically do that for you with optimizations and everything. So Recoil is a great option. Xstate, but Xstate is, like, I think, again, I did a video on it, and it's an amazing project, but it's complex and it has a big overhead. So I would compare it to the Redux or something like that, right? It's a lot easier to reason about than Redux because it's state machines. But in terms of the boilerplate and in terms of the amount of code you will write, it's very close to Redux, although still, I don't think anything comes even close to Redux in terms of the amount of boilerplate you have to build around it. But yeah, so basically, start with local state and context, then go to Recoil or something similar, and then expand to Xstate or Redux if you know that your state is going to be incredibly large. So this is at least the way I typically do that. Although actually I went all the way from Xstate to the local state management with GraphQL in the last app because, again, it was just like a lot easier. And yeah, no, it wasn't. I actually haven't used Relay somehow. So I know that it exists, but I never even looked at it. But as far as I know, this is also the GraphQL thing, right? So it's like last time I checked it, the examples were so damn complicated. I was like, I don't even understand what this does. So, yeah, I haven't tried Relay. Maybe we should do a stream with it and see what is this all about. Like, I know that it's supposed to be, like, incredibly powerful and with, like, a lot of cool things baked in. But, yeah, I can't say anything about it. I have no idea how it works. But, yeah, there you go. Hope that answers your question. All right. Any other questions or things you guys want to discuss? Let me adjust this. Any opinion about NX? I am not sure what that is. Let me see. It sounds familiar, but I honestly don't remember. What was it? NX extensive. Oh, it's like a monorepo tool. I don't think I've seen this one actually. Scale development from one team building application to many teams. Blah blah blah. Okay. I have not seen this one. I mean, I typically, so like, okay, in my cases, we don't really work in extremely large teams, so we typically like just a few people. And in terms of monorepo, Yarn workspaces work perfectly fine for our cases, so I didn't actually need any more complex tools than that. But I will check it out. Thank you for pointing this out. I did not know about this tool, so I will have a look, and next time I can probably let you know what I think about that. Are you buying PS5 or Xbox or waiting a few months? I'm thinking about picking up Xbox, but I don't know if I will be able to because I've tried to pre-order that and it's just not available anywhere, and it's infuriating. PS5 doesn't look interesting to me because all the games that I want to play on it come out in like 1 year or 2 years or whatever, so I can just pick it up then. Xbox, on the other hand, with Game Pass offer and all the basically all the games coming. And so what entices me here is that if I buy Xbox, I can just subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate for, whatever, 15 euro per month or something. And then I can play the same games on PC, the same games on Xbox, and there's like a bunch of Xbox exclusives, and it all is like pretty small, yes. And then there's the streaming thing and the cloud offering, all for the same 15 euro per month. It really bums me that they didn't bring the what did they call it? So they have this offering in the US where you can basically pay $30 per month and you get the free Xbox, or like the, I guess, subscription plan Xbox and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate as a subscription service for like 2 years lock-in for $30. I would go for that. That sounds incredible, but it's only available in the US. So yeah, I'm basically waiting to see if it's going to be available or not. If not, then, I'm not going to suffer or anything. My PC is still decent, but yeah. Hey, Lavi, welcome to the stream. Thank you for your kind words. It's, really cool to hear feedback like this. Well, let's be honest, it's what keeps me going, basically. It's smaller. I was amazed how much smaller the Xbox is. Like, those comparison photos that people put out right now, it looks big when you look at it, like, because I guess it's, sort of rectangular-ish. But, yeah, when you put it next to the PS5 is like, holy shit, it's big. Did you use StyleGDist? I don't know what is style. I use Storybook. I don't know what StyleGDist is, to be honest. I guess it's more or less the same thing, right? Storybook is really awesome. Like, I honestly, like, because I work primarily on the final products that are oriented towards the customers, I don't really have many cases where I need to build the library of components, right? So it's typically the product itself. But when I had a couple of cases where I needed like some components and some isolated testing and stuff like this, Storybook was really, really cool. StyleGuidist. Okay, so it's called, God, that's a mouthful. Yeah, looks okay. I mean, I'm guessing it's not as big as the Storybook. So no, it is big. Okay, 9.3K stars. Holy crap. That's impressive. But the last releases of a Storybook were really damn impressive with the amount of features they have in it. I don't know if this can compete. So what do they actually have? Any start recommendation, cookbook, configuration, CLI, examples. There you go. Let's have a look at the examples. Okay, I mean, yeah, it also looks quite nice. Doesn't seem like they have any like tests or anything like that here. Whoa. Okay. Where's my... Is that the ad block just blocking everything? No, 0 blocked. Okay, so I don't know what is going on. Yeah, I mean, you cannot... I know, you can edit it, yeah? Okay, is it live updated? Yeah, okay. Right, so it seems like it's similar-ish, but again, I can't really evaluate it so quickly. I haven't used it. Storybook is amazing, so I can tell you that. Can't really comment on the style guide. This name. Yeah, anyway. Going back to our repo. So why am I... Oh yeah, yarn lock. So let me just kill that. Yes. I think I'm going to be using npm 7 now instead of yarn lock. npm check -u. Let me just update all the dependencies and see if that actually builds. Yes, install. How to use Storybook? I mean, we used it for the direct way of what is supposed to be used, I guess, by essentially building the catalog of our custom components. Where is my cursor? What the hell's going on? Apologies. So we used it as a catalog of components that you can dynamically navigate, style, test, and basically check what components are there for the final app. And it worked really well for us. Again, we didn't have like incredibly large catalog. It was like, what was it? It was like a dozen of components maybe at most, but yeah. That's the gist of it. Okay, here, that's a lot of major updates. Okay, let's just, let's just update all of them and hope it doesn't break. That sounds like a good plan, right? Let's just update everything and hope it doesn't update. I'm not sure why it's flickering. It's a bit infuriating, but that's fine. God damn it, why is it this font here is barely readable on my screen. How do you pronounce your username, man? Urthador, I hope that's correct. Thank you for your encouraging words. That's really awesome. And yes, Storybook is a really cool tool. So if you have any components that you basically any component data sets that you want to build, right? It's a really, really good tool. Okay, let me see. Are you gonna buy license for Remix? No, not really. I mean, I don't see a need for it. I am, again, I'm not building the websites on a weekly, monthly project basis. I'm usually building just one product, as I already said. And I don't know. I haven't even seen the Remix itself yet, right? So I don't know if I would buy it. But so far, the answer is probably no, because there is Next.js and there's Create React App that are both free, open source, and, well, they already do what I want, essentially, right? So maybe if I see something amazing in Remix, I would buy it, but it's like I have to see the final version first. But then again, 250 bucks per year, I believe, right? Yes, it's 250 per year. And that's really hard to justify if you're not shipping projects all the time and you're not building upon it, So, yes, I know what they're doing here. I know who they are targeting here, but it's definitely not me. So I'm just not the target demography for this. Okay. Right. So all of that broke. Let me kill package lock, I guess, as well. So can I npm install? Can you work now, please? Remix is the new upcoming framework from Ryan Florence and Michael Jackson. The guy, Ryan Florence is the guy behind the Reach Router and Reach UI, and Michael Jackson is the guy behind the React Router and UnPKG, and they sort of collaborated and built this new React framework that is sort of supposed to be a better Next.js. And I mean, it's probably great because both of them are really smart guys and they know exactly what they are doing. The thing is that, this framework has a very specific target group and I just don't fall into it, basically. I believe they were saying it's going to be dual license. So basically you will be able to either buy a license or get a license for basically free license if you are not doing anything commercial with it. And I'm definitely up for trying out the non-commercial thing. But what is going on here? Unable to resolve dependency tree. Apparently my dependency tree is broken. Okay, that's interesting. Plugin flow type is config React app from project root. Right, okay, so my... okay, interesting. Apparently npm 7 cannot install the BxJS website's dependencies for whatever reason. Flow type from the root project. Do I need to? Does that mean I can just kill them? Okay, I need to figure out how the npm 7 works because I haven't had much time to play with it. Okay, so what if I kill that? Oh, apparently, so it now installs the peer dependencies, right? Which means that I can just kill those from the root. If I understand this correctly, peer from ESLint 5 from the root, so React config React app. So I can just do that, and then I can just do npmi, right? No, I mean, I don't want to use force. That's just a band-aid, right? So it's like, that's not going to solve it in the long run. It is better to just do a proper install rather than band-aid fixes. Better than Next.js. Well, that's what they're claiming. Yeah, so their claim is that it's going to be better, fancier, with a lot more cool stuff than Next.js. The problem here is that it's going to be really hard to compete with Next.js because Next.js is free, right? And Next.js is free because this is not their core business model. It's very straightforward for them. So Vercel selling hosting services. They just build this awesome framework and they basically say, hey, if you don't want to bother with deployment, here's a simple command that will deploy it to our servers. You just pay us a bit of money and we do it for you, right? It's a very straightforward business model, but it's very hard to compete with something like this because the Next.js, even though it's free, it's still part of their business model, right? And yeah, justifying 250 bucks per year is gonna be tough for your average developer. Again, they are not targeting your average developer with this pricing, so I guess it's probably gonna work out just fine for them. But yeah, it's like, what is cannot read property name of undefined? The hell does this even mean? Wait a second. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do npm 7 because there's probably a newer version with some fixes already. Yes, okay. All right, so let's see. Are we working now? I feel like, yeah, I know why they didn't push npm 7 to npm latest, because it seems like there's still like a ton of problems that have to be ironed out. I do like the speed improvements it has, but seems like it's not quite there in terms of like being production ready. You know what? Let me just increase the font size for you guys because it's probably too tiny. Right. Any more questions, guys? Things you want to chat about or anything else, basically? Cannot read name of file. What the hell does this even mean? Okay, you know what? I'm going to go and have a look at the log file and try to figure out what is going on. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, do feel free to ask them. So, right. Just go to the end. Cannot read name. That's not helpful. It's not helpful at all. Name of undefined. So Arborist. So there's a bug in Arborists, or I guess maybe in some of the packages. Root React refresh. Play step. Gatsby plugin feed. I have no idea why it fails. Or where this error comes. Oh my god, okay. I thought I could just easily update this and just use npm 7 to, you know, install everything and that's gonna be good, but apparently not. Heavy deep dive on Deno. Yes, I actually did more than one video on that, including the video where I contributed to Deno and like did a deep dive into the Deno Rust code base, which was, you know, maybe not the best person to do the Rust deep dives, but I did it anyway. So if you're curious, do check out the previous videos on the YouTube channel. I think Deno is a very promising technology. I think it's still not quite there yet, but probably it's gonna be, I mean, it's probably gonna capture a significant share of the all node project, JavaScript backend JavaScript projects in the next 5 years or something. Any opinions on TensorFlow.js? Did you try it? Yes, I did try it. I play around with it. I haven't built any like real projects with it. It's great. Like the TensorFlow.js is an amazing project. The new backends that they built with WebAssembly and, you know, the SIMD and everything is just mind-blowingly fast. And it's kind of crazy what you can do these days with, you know, just a browser and some WebAssembly basically. So yes, it's a great project. Right, I'm wondering if I should, it feels like it would be easier to just restart the whole project from scratch and then copy over the source code that we had here, because it seems like, God, okay, so how do I fix you? Okay, if I kill cache, okay, there's no node modules there, npm cache clean. I don't think I should be doing this, but okay, let's force this, so just wipe the cache, so that there is no cache, just to be sure that it's not a cache problem, all right? I'm a bit paranoid about cache these days. Okay. It's also probably the issue of having very outdated dependencies here, because it's been a long time since I touched this thing ever. Tailwind CSS is a new trend or just another case not to use module CSS? Tailwind CSS is amazing. Like, I think I already talked about it more than once, but it's mind-blowingly flexible and awesome package, and like modules, CSS modules are not replacement for it. Like the amount of utility you get out of Tailwind CSS is, I don't think you can replace it with anything, to be honest. You'd have to reinvent your own framework for that, but it's just easier to take Tailwind. And yeah, I do think it's gonna be dominant CSS framework in the next 5 years or something, unless someone else comes up with another framework. React is also going to be rewritten in Rust, I guess, to get Wasm speed. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen, because like React bottleneck is not really the VDOM, right? So, and even if you were to re-implement the VDOM in Wasm, you would, like, I'm not sure that would even, wasn't there, didn't they already try that? I remember reading somewhere that, was it on Twitter maybe? I mean, I may be confusing things here, but I remember reading somewhere that they basically, React team tried that. They tried to re-implement the VDOM algorithms in basically WebAssembly or whatever, ASM.js, and it didn't actually give them any like proper benefits. So they just dropped the idea. Because you probably could do that, but the improvements are likely gonna be very, very minor, and the pain of maintaining the separate code base is probably just not worth it, basically. At least, you know, at this stage. Again, I don't think the WebAssembly is gonna replace things in JavaScript world. That's not gonna happen. Like, WebAssembly is not going to replace React. WebAssembly is not going to replace Vue logic. WebAssembly is not going to replace Web Components logic. WebAssembly is not going to replace, I don't know what, like Lawdash or something, right? So it's not going to happen. Those things work perfectly fine as they are. But WebAssembly will augment JavaScript in incredible ways. I mean, TensorFlow is a great example of that, right? So it's a library that is very heavy on mathematics, right? So if you take TensorFlow, it's basically math and like tensors, right? So, and this is the perfect case for WebAssembly, where if you take this heavy CPU bound math, which, you know, is really hard for JavaScript and JavaScript is not very good at, and throw it into WebAssembly, it suddenly becomes 5 to 10 times faster, which is mind blowing. So I think, yeah, this is basically this is my take on it. Maybe wrong, so maybe I just don't understand something, but this is sort of my perspective. Hey man, break. Good looking Windows 10 terminal. This is just literally the Windows terminal with the Z shell and the Z shell Honkai theme, and that's it. There's nothing else there. So it's just like nice theme for Z shell, and that's basically it. I didn't really do anything else. But yeah, it's very straightforward. I'm wondering. Okay, so I'm wondering. Can I about your current error? Is it possible that old npm config is effective? But I don't really have any old. Like, my old config is just. I mean, okay, let me just cut it off screen because I think there's my token in there, but I don't think my old npm config actually has anything rather than, yeah, so I have the author there, I have the token, init license, and prefix. That's it. So there's nothing in there that would affect the new install. So that should not be happening. I'm guessing it's just because the package versions I'm using are so old that yeah, they're basically just outdated, so that's the problem. I wonder if I rebuild the 3 with the new packages, if it will work. Okay, all right. I mean, if I'm doing install date funds, it still will build the whole tree and will fail, right? So okay, it's not gonna fly. What we could do is we could copy the whole thing and do a very terrible thing of just killing everything and then reinstalling dependencies one by one with the latest versions. I think that would work. Although I'm not sure, maybe we'll encounter the exactly same error, but you know, in a longer roundabout way of doing that. I probably should also update the author field there because this one is from template. I am very good at maintaining open source projects, as you can see. They are absolute mess, don't even npm install, and yeah. Okay, npm install date, no, date funds. So now you should just install it in, yeah, okay, cool. So now it works. So we got this. So we got Vue.js. Okay, so I think I should be able to just install Gatsby plugin fid. All those plugins here, right? So I think that should work just fine. Whoops. So CSS and Perch CSS and React Helmet. All right, so there's the Gatsby. Hopefully, I mean, I have, so basically the core problems that come with the new NPM is the fact that it installs Beer's dependencies automatically, right? which means that some of the existing packages might break due to this behavior. There also might be some inefficiencies here and there, but we're going to see. Any other questions, guys, you have or things you want to discuss? Doesn't have to be related to programming. You can ask whatever you want. I'm, open to chatting about just about anything, basically. Right. Why is it taking so long? Is that because of the peer depths? So I think, Vitenis, you mentioned that the peer depths take too much time, right? Oh, I wiped my cache. This is why it's so long. I know. Cat name. We have 3 cats. Cat that lives in our office here because she started fighting with her brother, like fighting really hard, so we had to separate them. Her name's Shiki, so she's our office cat. Her brother, who is a bit of an asshole, he's Shrek, and he's coincidentally he's the cuddliest cat we have. So like he's complete asshole to other cats, but he will just sleep on you whenever you allow him. And the third cat, he's the youngest one, is Kumo. He's the tiny, super energetic ball of energy that just constantly wants to play and will bite your ass if you don't play with him enough, basically. All right, so this installed. Cool. So we are halfway there. Who do you think is going to win the election? Oh boy. Okay, that's going to be... let me just say, I really hope it's not going to be Trump. Because I don't think our planet can survive him being in power for one more term. And I don't think US can survive him being in power for one more term, to be honest. Plan to stream Cyberpunk. Well, I certainly want to try. So here's the problem. I noticed that on the modern games, my GPU is no longer enough to comfortably play and stream. I've played the the Watch Dogs Legion today, and even when I kicked everything down to medium details, my GPU is like, slugging at 90% load, and I'm guessing there's barely any resources to stream that. But I would love to stream Cyberpunk. Like, man, I'm really waiting for this game, and it would be fun to stream it. Like, it would be probably pretty cool. Hey Memphis, welcome to the stream. About to start learn Solidity, Ethereum, contract deploy, and so on, and create my own coin. Do you have any cool tools that you recommend for me to check out? So I'm really far away from the whole coin world. The only thing that I read that is related to the whole blockchain stuff is the original white paper on the blockchain. I know how it works. I've built my own blockchain in JavaScript. This is about as far as I want to take it because I honestly don't see any reason to use it. And I honestly don't see any value in Bitcoin or any other coins aside from, the black market and essentially legal trading. Because other than that, why do you need that? Honestly, and there's no value in them aside from the one that people basically put in it. And the value that people put in it, most of that value comes from that illegal trading, right? So it's like, yeah, so I know I can't really recommend you anything related to coins, Ethereum, blockchain, whatever. I don't think this technology is extremely exciting, I guess. So the thing is that I think the blockchain as the idea is freaking amazing. Like the way to provide the proof of work in decentralized manner is groundbreaking for sure. But the applications for it are just like 90% of them are garbage. It's like I had the exact same conversation during one of the accelerators when people wanted to do Bitcoin, but project idea, add-on that blocks everything related to US election and as a non-US. Oh yes, US elections are freaking everywhere, even if you are not in US. Even German press writes about this stuff. It's like you open the German newspaper and there's like half of the pages about US. I guess US do affect quite a lot in the world, but man, sometimes it gets tiring. But yeah. You still need to install React as it should come as a peer dep. Oh, that's a good point actually. I shouldn't need to install it, right? But I mean, it didn't complain, so it's fine. I think it's good to have it in the package JSON just to log the version of it, basically, right? So let's just keep it there as is. Okay, so we have you know what I can do? I can just I can do this, right? I can just do that, and there we go. Okay, so let's start with TypeScript. And then we got this TypeScript plugins. Whoops, what did I just do? Okay. So then we got the Babel ESLint. We should split this into probably a bunch of categories. So if something breaks, we know at which moment it actually broke. Okay, there's our ESLint stuff. Okay. So far, so good. So I wonder if it will compile after I do all of that. I have a feeling that we will fail terribly and we'll start tracking down errors and trying to figure out the hell's going on. Okay, standard React. I think I shouldn't need to install all of those plugins because they are peer dependencies. Oh god, you are right. Those are not. Oh, there you go. We got some errors going on. You're absolutely right. Those should have been peer dependence, the dev dependencies. Let me just remove them, I guess. RM. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Again, as I said, I'm more than happy to chat about anything you want, from technology to cats to whatever. Okay, so let's start with Babel ESLint. Are we right? -D is what I want. Not to forget that. Dogs or cats? Both. I like, both are cool. I am too lazy for dogs, I can tell you that for sure. So, as much as I love dogs, I am like, I don't know if we'll ever get one because, you have to walk with it. And if I have to like wake up at 6 a.m. to walk a dog, I'm not that's not gonna work for me. I am a person who sleeps like until 10 and then works late into night, basically, My schedule is a bit of a mess. Right, there's our error. So, ESLint. So, Gatsby start. Oh, wait a second. ESLint 6. How the hell? Oh, so ESLint standard has the peer dependency ESLint 7. Why am I installing ESLint 6? Oh, I guess I have it. Okay, so what if I kill it? npm rm ESLint. So what if I kill? Why did it install 6? Okay, so what if we do? So theoretically, I shouldn't even need to install the length of undefined. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see. Okay. So what if we npm install ESLint? I guess the latest ESLint is 6. Okay. Interesting. Let's install an ESLint 7 then. Aha. We found the package that breaks everything. It's ESLint. Okay. Right. Let me just check the ESLint GitHub issue tracker real quick. I wonder if it's an ESLint issue because something is wrong with their package.json, or if it's an npm issue. GitHub npm. What about your new startup, Tim? Can you tell us more about what it is and when it's publicly available, the name? Sure, I can tell you more. I mean, you already can check out the tag that we have. So essentially, this is the startup that we've been trying to build for hell knows what. It just so happens that this time proposal was shaped close enough so we could rewrite it basically towards what we did within our research group. So the research group I was part of worked on a ton of projects that work with knowledge graphs, right? And some of them are, even though they are now like demos that are publicly deployed, they are queried for insane amounts of time. I think it was more than 500,000 times per year, basically, more than 500,000 queries per year. So there's 3 services that we want to do. Number 1 is this knowledge extraction service, right? So this one is, I'm not sure, is it? Here's the question is the demo alive? Because it keeps getting hammered and sometimes it just basically dies. And I don't know if it's still alive or not. Timeout in loading fonts. So my ad block is turned off. Okay. Hey, Johnny Mnemonic. Not much. We're just sitting here chatting. So if you have any questions or, things you want to talk about, just ask away. Seems like demo is dead basically, but anyway, so this is one thing. It basically turns or annotates your text and returns you entities that are mentioned in this text linked to your knowledge graph. So in this case, it would say, okay, the Barack Obama is the Barack Obama, Michelle is Michelle Obama, and then it will link to the medical center here. They will link to the Kenya, Hawaii, and will specifically mention, so in this case, it links to the DBpedia, which is the Wikipedia turned into data. And you will be able to basically open the DBpedia, I don't know, like, the problem is this requires explaining so many damn concepts when you think about it. So DBpedia is this project of turning Wikipedia into machine understandable knowledge graph, right? So that you as a human can search over Wikipedia and machines can search over DBpedia. So Fox annotates text and links the things mentioned in text to the entities in DBpedia. Once this is done, you can use a bunch of other tools, such as, where is it? Oh man, I forgot the name of it. Limes. Where's Limes? Where is Limes? Where the hell is Limes? Wait a second. For whatever reason, it's not mentioned here. Okay. Anyway, there's another project that links multiple knowledge graphs together, as in, you know, like for example, you extract knowledge from your emails, you extract knowledge from your wiki, you extract knowledge from your documentation, you got a bunch of separate knowledge graphs, right? So you get a bunch of separate entities, separate things that are mentioned in different contexts. Then you use another tool to link it all together. And then you can use the third tool that allows you federated search over that. So this is kind of the first offering we have. We want to provide this full pipeline where you just, you know, you have like different wikis, different emails talking to your clients. And then you can basically use our pipeline to generate knowledge graphs out of that. And then just query that. So the cool thing about the knowledge graphs is that it not just allows you to query them using text, as in, you know, can just search for specific words or entities or whatever. That's obvious. You don't need knowledge graphs to do that. But the cool thing is that it allows you to, with some help of neural networks, it allows you to actually do like real question answering and the what the Google and Apple call now the conversational AI, right? So when you can literally just say, hey, show me all people who know X, and the search engine and the neural network will actually do the work, figure out what query to run over that federated graph, and show you the results. No, it's not really GPT. Like GPT is a general purpose network, right? So basically GPT only reads all the data on the internet, and then allows you to sort of derive answers and ask questions over that. In our case, we build specialized knowledge graphs. Again, we build knowledge graphs, so GPT works on unstructured data and it basically trains on it and so on and so forth. But in our case, we actually build knowledge graphs that can be utilized in a whole bunch of ways. And searching over them is just one. What's your dream car you want to get? Self-driving car, please. So here's the deal. I used to drive car pretty much daily when I was back in Russia, and I still have like Vietnam flashbacks about that, because driving in Russia is probably, side note, I was driving in Russia in St. Petersburg, which is this like second largest city, right? With too much traffic, too many assholes, and incredibly shitty drivers all over the place, because it's relatively easy to buy driver's license in Russia. Like literally, you don't have to know how to drive. You just give enough money to someone and you get a driver's license. You can imagine what's going on in the streets. Like it's not super bad, but sometimes there are situations where you don't want to drive at all. And I was driving for 3 out of 5 years I was in university, because my university was like on the outskirts and it took like an hour to get there with public transport and like 15 minutes with a car. So I just, took the parents' car and just went there because it usually aligned with their schedules quite nicely. And I absolutely hate driving. I don't care what car it is. I don't care what am I going to be doing. If I am the one driving, I don't want a car. If it's a self-driving car, then I'll take anything. Like even if it's, I don't know, whatever. So yeah. You pay money, you get the driver's license, every Slav country ever. Yeah, that's actually fair enough. I've heard it works more or less the same way in majority of the Slav countries. That's fair. I mean, it's like my brother is now doing the German driver's license, and it's actually really tough to get one. Like, there's so much prep work towards it. It's just crazy. In Russia, it was literally like you just go listen to some lectures for like I don't think it was like 2 weeks or something, and then you drive for a couple of hours with the teacher, and then you can just go and do the exam. And it was ridiculously simple. I was terrified driving, like the very first days basically, and it was just a terrible experience. But yeah, so answering your questions, I don't really want a car unless it's self-driving car that I don't have to touch. Speaking on the car looks, Tesla looks really cool. So like I'm all in on the electric vehicles. And again, the whole like machine learning aspect of it is really interesting to me. Probably would not be comfortable enough to let it drive yet. Because I know how that stuff works, and it's probably not quite there to be completely safe. But I do think that, the whole like machine learning self-driving tech is gonna be in the long run a lot safer than the drivers, because machines can react a lot faster than humans, right? Why not transform your car with Comma AI? That sounds like too much work. Like, no, man, so the thing is that I know that it varies a lot by country, but one of the reasons I really love Germany is because the public transport works pretty damn well here. So like I have my app on a phone. There's a schedule of trams or buses at night, which go 24 hours basically. So at any time during the day or night, if you want to get something, you can get there with public transport without any problems at all. Unless something is broken, right? So there's like force majeure situations and something might be broken, but majority of time, you can just hop on the tram, get whatever you want, pay like €2 for that, you're good. Or buy, a monthly ticket or whatever if you travel a lot. And another cool thing that I really like about Leipzig specifically is because it's a small town, and if you really need to get somewhere, you can just buy a bike, like a bicycle, and just hop in on it and just ride a bicycle. And okay, we are living quite far away from the city center, so it takes like half an hour on a tram, or I think like about 50 minutes on a bike if you're not in super, not pedaling super fast, but it's still fine. So it's like, I think if we're gonna move anywhere else, we're probably gonna either buy or rent something closer to the city center. And then I'm just going to be driving bicycle everywhere because it's just, first of all, it's healthier, and second of all, it's just nicer. Like, come on. Obviously, cars can be a lot more convenient in some places, but it's like, I hate them so much, I would basically choose anything over a car. Comma AI is not allowed in Germany. That is true. They are actually not allowed to operate here, and it would be interesting to see how the whole like self-driving field develops here, because I know that the Daimler and like a bunch of, like basically I think all the German automotive concerns are now exploring the both electric vehicles and self-driving vehicles. So it's kind of curious to see where this will go. Right, Max Len, no, that's ESLint RC, that's not it. Again, if you have any more questions, do feel free to throw them into the chat. I'm just trying to figure out why the hell npm install ESLint fails right now. What was the error again? Cannot read property length of undefined. Yeah, I guess try that. No, that's not it. Or maybe that is it. Okay, seems like I was a bit too excited about npm 7 and it's not quite prime time ready just yet, or maybe the projects are not. Right, I wanted to npm 7 here. Performance degradation. Yarn in ESLint init. No, that's not it. npm length undefined. I'm guessing it's... Okay, maybe not open. Maybe it was already closed and dismissed. Okay. Maybe I should just wait until they fix this and revisit it. So I don't feel like fighting npm right now. Okay, closed. Yeah, so maybe also maybe why is it's fascinating that there's the GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft, that has so much resources and they still don't have a proper freaking search. Why is it so painful to use search on GitHub? Like anywhere in tickets, in general search, and like all of it works so poorly. I know that they announced, I think half a year ago or so, that they are working on a new better search, but right, npmrc with GitHub. Okay, I don't have any package registry. npm install fails on Gatsby website. There you go. That seems correct. Property match. Okay, so that's a different error, but that seems close. I managed to get the same error. Clean install node for. So okay, so this fails with npm 6 as well. Right. Okay. I feel like maybe I should just rewrite the whole website on Next.js or something. I think it's related to standard, but I don't. Do I have standard actually installed? Oh, yeah, no, I don't. Okay, I have ESLint config prettier. But what if I kill all of those, right? And okay, so let me just do this. So I killed everything ESLint related. I killed node modules. And now we're going to do npm install -d ESLint 7. Is your node version latest? I believe so. Let's try to update it. Okay, so let me see. Come on now. Come on. Rayfi node. What is Rayfi? Why is it taking so long? Ah, come on. I know you can do it. There we go. Sudo apt updates and upgrades. Let's see. I think I mean, it is 15 for sure. The only question is, was there any smaller hot fixes that were released in the last couple of days? Python, blah, 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 whatever. Now it seems like the node is not there, so it's probably the latest one. I'm gonna update everything anyway, because why not? But yes, node is latest. So let's wait for this to finish and then try to do npm install -d again. Anyway, do we have more questions or anything else? New create React app has issue with TypeScript that you can't use aliases paths like @src when doing import. That sucks. Oh man, yeah, that is one of my favorite features of working with create React app, was that you could alias everything to just, the root folder and just go with that. But yeah, if it's broken, that sounds like a painful experience indeed. Why are you not using NVM? I'm not switching node versions that much. I do have NVM installed, so, I'm just using the system version now. Last time I needed to switch node version was to 12.17. That's probably extremely outdated, so, you see the reason why I'm not using it that much. Cat, I cannot see chat. What is the difference between white paper and yellow paper? That's a very good question. I honestly not sure, so I've been using the term, I'm not even, is the yellow paper a term? Ethereum yellow paper. Is that a proper yellow paper? What is yellow? This is the first time I hear that term, to be honest. I guess they made up this term because it's not white paper for whatever reason. Hey Kepler, welcome to the stream. Yes, indeed, I'm still streaming. But I don't know what is yellow paper and what do they mean by that, to be honest. Do they define it anywhere? Kepler, thank you for your cheer. Highly appreciate it. I mean, they do have a yellow background on it, so maybe that's the thing. I honestly, I've been reading scientific papers for past 7 years, and this is the first time I encountered term yellow paper, and I honestly don't know what that means. Formal definition of Ethereum protocol. I don't know. Papyrus? Is that Ethereum papyrus? That sounds fitting. Anyway, Package log has been changed in version 7. Yes, I know that's but we have this problem. Okay, so I did npm install. Let me try to npm install ESLint 7 now and see if that errors out. Yes, it is. Okay, so npm, you cannot literally install npm 7 with, ESLint 7 with npm 7. God damn it. Yellow paper is a more technical version of the white paper, says Google. Okay, interesting. White paper. Maybe it's like the business speak or whatever, because it's definitely not coming from the scientific world, basically. What's the difference between the white paper? White paper, authoritative reports. Yeah, okay, so the white paper is your thing, and yellow paper. Oh, wait, is it preprint? Is that it? Just call it a freaking preprint. Why do you call it yellow paper, goddammit? Okay, so it's literally just another name for preprint. Okay, I know what preprint is. But if it's a preprint, that means that their paper should be printed somewhere. And the question is, where is it printed? Because, like, the funny thing is that if you search for yellow paper, it literally shows you the Ethereum yellow paper. Dr. Gavin Woods, 2020 905. So, I mean, if it's a preprint, it should be printed somewhere, but it doesn't say where. Anyway, you know what? Whatever. So, like, if they want to call preprint yellow paper, they can. I don't mind that. Yanni or Laurel? I honestly don't remember. That's a very complicated question. Yellow papers document containing research that has not yet been formally accepted or published. Yeah, so a preprint, right? So this is, god damn it. Just call it a preprint. What is a yellow paper? It's the first time I've heard the term. I mean, maybe I was living in a tank or something, or a bunker, you know, but I honestly never heard a yellow paper. Synonymous to the more widely used term preprint. Yes, so preprint, just... Anyway, okay, you know, let's not dive into that, all right? All right. So why is... Right, so let me try npm 7 install ESLint 7. ESLint 7 released. And I guess we could stay on the older version. So we could use the older ESLint, but it also means we have to use older version of config pre-tier. Okay, so config pre-tier was installing correct, right? I think the standard is what basically broke. I believe we need, so if we use the older version of ESLint config standard, we should be able to install it here, because I mean, like, the changes they had are not that important to me, at least. Joylib used to validate schema with happy is bug 2. You mean with npm 7? Seems like it's a bit early to adopt npm 7 to me. Software and science, they always had the word that confusing. Other people call it change, we call it mutate. That is fair enough. Yeah, that's the prevalent terminology. But again, you know, I've been, as I said, you know, I've been in the scientific field for 6 years now, and I never heard the term yellow paper. Again, maybe I'm just in the wrong scientific circle. But yeah. Okay, I want versions, please. Releases. So we got what? 15, so I guess 14 is what we want, right? And 14, so let's try that. Let's bully team and ask for yellow paper from now onwards. Oh no, 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 no. You're not allowed to do that. I will ban you. I will ban you and expel you from the channel. Not allowed. React standard. Okay, is this? Can I just install the latest one? Is this gonna work? No, it's not. Okay, so it's still okay, right? So I guess it's different versioning, right? See what version do we need here? 10. Okay, 9. I guess is the React at 9. Okay. All right, yeah, so okay, npm 7 breaks quite a lot of things, but we're gonna figure it out. So I assume I actually don't need to install all of those plugins because they are peer dependencies, right? So I think that should work just as is. npm install -d. I think so, but we're gonna test it. We're gonna test my theory. Okay, there's our Gatsby plugin. There's the markdown it. I probably don't need to install Prettier as well because I don't think we used it directly, did we? No, we used it directly. Okay, so that it means it should be installed. So we got CSS Nano and Tailwind. I think those should be installed without problem because Tailwind is just CSS. CSS Nano is a tiny nanoifier. So it's okay, it's all good. All right, so we should be able to say npm run analyze. No, okay, so we do need plugins. Okay, ESLint plugin Prettier. So I guess maybe not all plugins? Question mark? It's like, it's a bit weird that it installs peer dependencies now because it means that all the docs that were there before has to be changed now. Right, that actually works. Okay, so so because the new version Prettier has the different defaults, this is now changed, so we have to tweak some stuff. But that is fine, but ESLint actually works. That's cool. Yeah. Okay, next question is, will the build work? Yarn, no, npm start is what I want to do, right? Yes, okay. Let's see if that compiles. Okay, you know what, I'm not gonna, yeah, it's fine. I guess I can close it because everything else works. That's kind of nice, like the fact that you don't need so many direct dependencies is kind of cool. Okay, so there's our errors that were expected. That is perfectly fine. Please tell me it compiles, because then that is a lot easier than I thought. But this will not work with npm 6, which is, I don't know if that's what I want. I think I will like commit it anyway, but maybe just to a new branch that is like updated 7 or whatever. But we're gonna see. Okay. Seems like it actually works. So all the updates. Oh yeah, there's another thing we need to test is the Vue.js because there's like jump 2 versions. I don't know if that's gonna work. But that's already details actually. Okay, loaders, node fetch. Yeah, so everything else seems like I don't think there should be any super breaking changes, so it's probably gonna be working just fine. Okay, cool. So it actually compiles without problems. So the only problem was with the dependency graph and the whole peer dependency things. Okay, where's my console? Seems like there's no errors. Okay, so let's try, I don't know, TypeScript. Okay, so this is broken. I'm guessing each child should have... Okay, so the results we get from this search are not what we expect to be. All right, which means that we have to tweak this search a bit. There's our search. And there's our search worker. So I guess we have to check the Vue.js docs because we jumped 2 versions and it has to be fixed. But okay, that wasn't too hard. Like, okay, there's, yeah, it's definitely annoying that you cannot just do npm install and it will work, but it's not super hard. Okay, so there is books, keys. So what do we have here? Keys. Yeah, this is the options. Okay, that seems fine. Okay, and then what is the search? And that is... Okay, so that seems like it should work, right? Thoughts on FaunaDB? I don't know what FaunaDB is. Data API for your client serverless applications. So is it like the hosted database, basically, like the Firestore or whatever? Just GraphQL? Like, I mean, you know, those are nice for some use cases, but it's like you have, like, your use case has to be tailored or to be fitting for something like this, right? So my primary thing with those kind of services, including Firebase or MongoDB Cloud or whatever, is that majority of time in our use cases, because we operate with like terabytes of data, it's just way too expensive to use any of that. And it's actually cheaper and easier to just host the database yourself. But if it fits your case, and yeah, it's good. Just go for it. The future is offline first. CRDT? What the hell is CRDT? Conflict-free replicated data type. I don't know, man. I don't know if the future is offline first. I don't think that's true, actually. Like, if you look at the development of the networks in the last 10 years, the future seems to be always online as opposed to offline first. It's like, yes, there's still a lot of countries that don't really have like a good and stable internet, but that has been changing fast. And my guess is that in the next 20, 30 years, everyone's going to be connected and everyone's going to be online all the time. I mean, most of the people already are. It's like, so I don't know if that's the future. So I don't like, maybe near future, very near future, but definitely not the far future. God damn it, apologies. Why is Remix that expensive? Because it's targeted, I mean, we already talked about Remix in the beginning of the stream. It's targeted to a very specific group of people with very specific needs and does exactly what they want. And they have the money to pay and they will pay if it's good enough, basically. And, you know, majority of us just don't need that. That's kind of the thing. Okay, TypeScript. Let's try this again. Do we have the log? Okay, so the results are actually... Oh, okay, I guess it now returns item and ref index. Okay, so we need to map results to results item because we only care about items here. So I guess this should fix it. SpaceX Starlink already is available, so no more offline first. Yeah, so this is like the things that I'm talking about, right? SpaceX Starlink, even though it is expensive-ish right now, but it's like, okay, $500 for the equipment, and then you pay $100 per month for pretty decent connection. But the point is, it's going to be working literally everywhere. Okay, for now, there's like gaps because there's not enough satellites, but once they run them all, it's going to be bonkers. And then, you know, once we go to the same trend of technology gets smaller and things get faster, you're gonna have this SatLink thing in your phone, and then you pay like, I don't know, $50 or something for permanent SatLink connection from your phone, and nobody will ever use 6G, 5G networks ever anymore because there will be no point in them. Okay, that actually fixed it. Cool. But yeah, this is my perspective. Again, you know, I'm far from being an expert on any of this, so I might be terribly wrong here. Yes, allow everywhere. There we go. ESLint actually works. So what is, why is my pre-tier, I guess, oh, I guess my ESLint config and pre-tier RC are different, right? Single codes, or maybe not. Okay, anyway, that's not important right now. Okay, let me just commit all of that so we don't waste all our work. But I guess branches, so we get, oh yeah, I guess I can just go to develop, right? It's migrate to npm v7 and latest package versions. There we go. Push that online. My country is falling behind. I mean, a lot of countries is still quite a bit behind the... I mean, even in Germany, it's all over the place. Like, I live in a city that has pretty good connection. Like, there's some places we can get even fiber to your home. But on the other hand, like, you know, if you travel like a few, even dozen kilometers away from here, you're going to be in some village. They won't have good internet. Like, as far as I know, some places don't have any internet, which is just mind-blowing in 2020, to be honest. What do you think about IPFS? I mean, it's a nice technology. I've used it a couple of times, but yeah. Like, I don't really have much to say about it because I just used it as a consumer, basically. It worked fine. Okay, so we did that. We fixed this. We're fine. Okay, So I merged it into develop branch, and there's our develop branch. Yeah, there's a question. Will it actually compile on the CI? A very good question. We're going to find out in a second. GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions probably use... I don't remember what I used there. 100 messages. Oh, we've been chatty today. Nice. In Mexico, even in big cities, the internet connection is awful. Interesting. I mean, Russia is somehow very progressive in terms of internet, because even in my very small-ish town, we had some pretty decent stuff for pretty cheap prices, which was honestly surprising to find that was not the case in Germany and, most places. What's your thought about BxJS? What is BxJS? Oh yeah, I think someone already asked me. I haven't tried it. I mean, it looks fine. It's like based on Next.js with some additional bells and whistles. I guess all-in-one framework. I mean, so here's the thing. I don't know if you need that. Like, the thing is, Next.js is already built in a way so that it is sort of all-in-one framework, right? So I don't know if there's any point of adding more on top of it. But I guess if it exists, then there's got to be some use cases for it that Next.js on its own doesn't cover? Question mark? But I think it's really hard to compete with Next.js itself because, yeah, okay, it's definitely going to be older NPM, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's basically very hard to compete with Next.js because it's backed by such a big, powerful business as Vercel, and it is part of their core business, so it's going to be tough to catch up to the features they provide, essentially. Hey, it actually works. Cool. We got... Yeah, okay. Nice. Google new logo is bad. I mean, it's fine. Like, the logos... It's... I think bad logos are the least problems of Google. It's like... I know they have a ton of money and they don't really care about shutting down services, but... It would be nice if, they could figure out stuff and without, instead of like killing services every other day, it's like Google Stadia. Hey, that thing. Yes, it exists. I still don't know who will use it, especially considering there is Xbox Game Pass now that also provides you xCloud for the price of $15, including games. It's like, why would you pay for a service where you have to buy games anyway? That's just boggles my mind. Google is weird. I think they're just so big they don't even... Right, I don't need to close that. I actually need to... Let me just move it over here. Right, but yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. No, that's not the... Yeah, there we go. Have you read about Amazon Luna? Yes, I've read about Amazon Luna. I've seen, so I think I already have like the preview page, whatever. It looks like I welcome the competition in the field. I absolutely think that sooner or later we will get a service that will be good enough to just, play at your couch and play majority of games. Maybe not competitive games, maybe not, I don't know, Counter-Strike or whatever. But if you just casually play some strategy games or maybe even third-person shooters that don't require like millisecond reactions, you can get, with a good connection, you can get latency of like 15, 20 milliseconds, which is comparable to console, right? Okay, last-gen console, let's phrase it correctly. So I think that at some point we're going to get to the phase when this is good enough. And when, I can see the appeal, especially for people who don't want to pay for like, I don't know, hundreds essentially of dollars or euros for a full-on gaming computer or console, because it's, it's still $500, right? It's still quite expensive. And then there's like $60 games. And if you could just pay for Xbox xCloud, which is like $15 per month, and you just stream it to your computer via tiny USB dongle, that's an amazing offer. Like, the moment it works, Microsoft is going to take over the whole freaking gaming world. If it's going to be Microsoft, obviously. I'm not saying it's going to be them. It might as well be like Amazon or whatever. But yeah, I do think the technology is going to reach the point where it's going to be mass adopted. Facebook are pushing so many features from Facebook and Messenger into Instagram, making it worse and bloated. I barely use any of the Facebook services, basically. I do still have Facebook account. I do still have Instagram account because I have like some friends who just exclusively sit there and there's no other way to contact them. But I literally open them once a month, maybe at most, probably less than that. So I don't really care much about them. Depends where you live. Yes, this is like, I mean, it ties into the same, discussion of the faster the internet gets, the more connected everyone gets, the better the service will be, right? So, nice thing, Luna is supposed to be really a subscription service, not that Stadia scam. Stadia is so weird. It feels like they have no idea what they're doing. And I think that episode, like, I don't know if you guys seen it. There was the guy who was like, he had his Twitter bio, creative director at Stadia, and then he tweeted that the streamers should pay game producers for streaming their games, which is, it's like it's just so wrong on so many levels. But I think it's a very good depiction of the sort of the mental state of the Stadia leadership, I guess, and disconnect between the gaming market and their understanding of that market. It's just Google has so much money, yet they cannot hire a team who has basically good understanding of the market they're working in. Like, how does this work? It just boggles my mind sometimes. But then, I remember the what do you call it? The Silicon Valley TV show where they depicted the what was the name of the giant where the big head worked, and it all like it really looks like it works like this. Basically, it's just like random shit happening. But yeah, did you notice that all services nowadays are like bloatware? It's like a mess in my project. I mean, all services are at some point become a mess unless you take time to make them work, right? So this is why it's important to just pause the development for a sprint or two and just spend time fixing it, improving performance, adding unit tests, and so on and so forth. LOL, Messenger, IGDM, WhatsApp, that's actually a feature for me. The context switching is fast. It should be optional. Oh, so you can they merged all the messaging platforms into one now? Like, I mean, I know why Facebook is doing it, because they want more data on you, and because it's easier when everything is in one place. They don't have to link them. But yeah, that sounds like okay. Let's not dive there. Maybe they have the wrong management, not just wrong teams. I mean, most of the time it's just wrong management. I just installed ESLint 7 successfully using npm and node 15. Okay. It might be the ESLint 7 conflicting with something else. So let me see. So if I go to test, no. And make dir ESLint test. Okay, npm init -y, npm install ESLint 7. I mean, it might be that it wasn't just ESLint itself, but actually ESLint. Okay, so it actually installs. So I guess it was because I had something else installed. It just clashed with something and broke. But since the error was so damn non-descriptive, I have no idea what was the cause of it. And I honestly don't have any desire to dig into it. But yeah, so it's definitely something with the arborist and the tree resolution. I don't know, maybe I should just dig into it and open a ticket at some point. But not today anyway. Right. Okay, so it was a nice 1.5 hour stream. Do you guys have any more questions or things you want to chat about? If not, I guess we can just wrap it up here and I can go play more Watch Dogs. I need to hack the rest of the London and hire the bee lady with nano bees, because I can just use bees to attack people, and that's basically everything I ever wanted from a video game. Store business actually depends on Facebook platform. I can't leave Facebook. Oh, I see. I mean, I know that a lot of businesses use Facebook quite tightly coupled to Facebook, but I think it's also very country dependent. Play Sekiro. I finished Sekiro. I am horrible at it, and I do not want to repeat it ever again. I think it took everything I had to actually finish it, and even then there was a few bosses where I enabled cheats and just made myself invulnerable just to beat them, because I knew I will never ever reach the level required to actually beat them, but I wanted to see the story unfold basically. Surprisingly enough, the last boss was not as hard as some of the other ones. But yeah. Didn't notice you using soundproofing foam. I mean, it's not really soundproofing, it's just the, what do you call it? So basically, there's a lot of reflections in this room, so I had to put some foam on the walls so that there are less reflections and you don't hear the room as much in the mic. But it's not soundproofing. The mic is the Blue Yeti. So the Blue Yeti Silver, one of the cheaper ones. It's a perfectly good mic. And I can highly recommend it if you want to do any streaming podcasts or even just have a good quality sound. Here's a day joke of the day. Go for it, my love. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you a couple more seconds to send your questions or anything basically in chat, and then we can just wrap it up there. Knock, knock. You can write it a bit faster, otherwise... I am very tempted to just press the end stream button right now, you know? I know it's going to be evil, and I feel really bad after that, but I'm very tempted to just not let you finish this. So yes, I'm waiting for the continuation. Knock, knock. What's next? Come on. Who's there? Tank. Okay, so the chat is lagging here, but I'm reading it on the YouTube here, and it's moving a lot faster. Tank who? Yes, yes. And then this, I'm just ending stream, and it's very anticlimactic. Tank who? I think Malaf, do you have any kids? Because I think you are sort of already moving into the dad area of jokes. Because this is a pretty much ideal dad joke over here, you know? And if you don't have any kids, then I feel like it's gonna soon change. Anyway, I think that's a good it's a good spot to wrap this up. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Again, if you have any questions left, just join our Discord and ask them there. Yeah, basically that's it. So once I'm done with the proposal, I'm going to be streaming a lot more. We're going to figure out how exactly we're going to go about the new project and what project it's going to be. But we're definitely going to build something fun. And yes, I do want to stream Cyberpunk once it's out, if it's ever going to be out. It's like, oh god. Anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching. Have an awesome rest of the week, and I see you on Saturday for BxJS Weekly.